In this video, I'm sharing with you how to get enough protein as a vegan. There's a huge misconception out there that vegans can't or don't get enough protein. I'm sure you know by now that that is not true at all. It is actually easy to get enough protein as a vegan. The first thing you want to keep in mind is to know what your preferences, tastes, and likes are. Because even if something has protein, if you don't like the way it tastes, if you don't like the texture of it, then it's not going to help you to eat it. And you're not going to look forward to your eating. And it's not going to be sustainable for you. And then you're definitely not going to get enough protein. So just know what you actually like. Because you don't have to eat things that you don't like. Don't worry, because there are many options. I don't like seitan. I don't like tofu, so I don't eat them. There are other options that I love and I use and I have them, and I never eat the same thing all the damn time. I love changing things up. I love having a variety, and it's so much fun that way. So stay open-minded and give yourself space to try new things to make sure that you get a variety by not eating the same thing all of the time. It's okay to have your favorites and your go-to staple foods, as I'm sure you will. Everyone does. But make sure that you give yourself room to keep trying new things and to make sure that you get a lot of color and a lot of variety. The second thing is to know what a main vegan protein source actually is. A lot of people mistake vegan foods that are whole plant foods that are everywhere as main vegan protein sources, being lentils, beans, nuts, and seeds. And even though these are easy to find and these are in every store, they are not considered main vegan protein sources, because you would have to eat such a substantial amount of them to get the protein that you're wanting to get. And if you're in a calorie deficit, or if you have certain goals that you're using your eating to get to, that's not going to help you in any way. These foods are very important to still eat, but nuts and seeds are fat sources and beans and lentils are carb sources. Lupini beans can be considered a main vegan protein source, though, because it does have a lot more protein in it than other beans do. Legume pastas can also be considered a main vegan protein source because they have a lot of vegan protein in them. They could also be considered as a carb source. So you get a 2-in-1 if you eat legume pastas. So that brings me into the next thing. What really are the main vegan protein sources? Legume pastas, like I said, being edamame pasta, red lentil pasta, black bean pasta, and chickpea pasta. All of these pastas have a lot of protein in them and can be considered a main vegan protein source as well as a carb source. Along with tempeh, seitan, tofu, edamame, vegan mock meats, TVP, which is textured vegetable protein, and vegan protein powders. Don't worry if you are allergic or intolerant to soy. There are still options for you if you are. There is PUMFA, which is pumpkin seed tofu, that is soy-free. There are vegan protein powders that do not have soy in it, like pea protein. And there are different mock meats that do not have soy in them. There's also seitan that does not have soy. So there are other options, and you could do so much with different vegan protein powders and put them into things to make them a protein source if they don't have protein in them already. There's even vegan protein pancake mixes available. So don't worry if you are intolerant to soy or don't like soy. There are other options for you to have as your main vegan protein sources. So once you know what are the main vegan protein sources, it's time for you to choose which ones you want to use throughout the week and eat. When you meal plan and prep, it's good to do it week by week by taking a day or two each week to plan and prepare your meals. You don't have to do this, but if somebody does plan and prepare their meals, they usually do it week by week. And you can do it as you go, but that does take maybe a little bit more time that way. So just make sure you are giving yourself the time and planning out your meals. That way you know how much protein you're getting. So it helps for you to start your meals by choosing your protein first and building your meals and snacks around them. A properly balanced meal contains protein, carbs, fat, and color. which are fruits and vegetables. And high fiber carbs are some of the best carbs to have. A snack that's great would be either a protein or a fat, along with carbs and fruits and vegetables for the volume and the color. So just know that by starting off choosing your main vegan protein sources and building your meals and snacks around them, you are one step ahead of making sure that you're getting the protein that you need, and that you're not just grabbing something, that your protein is already accounted for. And that's especially helpful if you have a protein goal that you want to hit. It's also helpful to know that there are a lot of foods that have protein in them, even though they're not considered a main vegan protein source. So any food that has at least 5 grams of protein in them are great to add to increase your protein if you want to do so. It's great to have these foods anyways because they are great carb sources, or they are great fat sources, or have vitamins and minerals that you need. So make sure that you're always getting a variety and abundance so that you're getting everything that you need and are satiated and content and satisfied with the taste and your preferences. So a lot of these foods that can increase your vegan protein by adding them would be beans, lentils, quinoa, rice, oats, sprouted grain breads, nutritional yeast. Some vegan yogurts have protein in them. Vegan protein bars, plant milks, soy milk, pea milk, and hemp milk have the most vegan protein in them out of the plant milks. So, nuts and seeds, they have protein in them as well. Even some vegetables have more protein in them, like broccoli. So just know that all of these foods have a little bit of protein in them, and beans and lentils have a little bit more protein in them than like oats or sprouted grain bread, or, other types of foods like nutritional yeast would have. Some nuts have more protein than other nuts, pistachios. I know that peanuts are considered a legume, but whatever, we think of them as a nut. So there's that. And there's just, seeds like sunflower seeds and pumpkin seeds. Hemp seeds have more protein than other seeds. They are considered a fat source though. So even though these are, fat and carb sources, they're great to add to increase your protein if that's what you want. So, it's always great to do that because it doesn't just limit you to your main vegan protein sources. And nut butters are great as well. And if you want a yogurt and you want protein in it, but it doesn't have a lot of protein in it, you can add protein powder to it. You can add vegan protein powder to a lot of things to make the protein go up, like pancake mixes and your baking, yogurt, all kinds of different things you can do there. Protein powder is not just for smoothies and shakes. There's a lot of other things you can do. You can add them to your overnight oats and your oatmeal as well, and do just all kinds of different things with them to increase your protein if that's what you're looking for. But of course, they could still be used to make smoothies and shakes too. And it's also good to know what you're really going for, especially if you have a goal. So, if you want to gain muscle or whatever you want to do, it's good to know like what kind of protein goal you have so that you know where to hit it and you know what to do to get you there. So it's good to track and evaluate this so that you know where you are in case you need to make any changes. So it's usually good to do 0.8 anywhere to 1 pound per body weight of grams of protein. And if you want to lose fat, if you want to lose weight, then use your desired weight to calculate how much protein you would need. 0.8 to 1 pound per body weight of grams of protein. And you'll never know until you just experiment and try. So give yourself the chance to explore, because no one can tell you what's best for you except you. You have to go by how you feel. So really pay attention to your body. It's always communicating with you, so listen to it and do things that can support how you want to feel. So these are ways to make sure that you're getting enough protein that you want, making sure that you're eating things that you actually like, things that you like the texture of and stuff. And to make sure you know what your main vegan protein sources are, to choose some of those, to start with those and build your meals around them. And to add extra foods in there as well to increase your protein if that's what you want. And to really have a protein goal, calculating that by 0.8 to 1 pound per gram body weight for protein, so that you know where you're going, you know what's working, you know what's not working, tracking, evaluating, giving yourself enough time to see if this is really working or not, and then changing things to make it happen for yourself. So if you're tracking and evaluating and you know how much protein you're getting every day, that can help you get to your results faster. Whatever goal it is that you have that you're eating can help you get if you track and evaluate and make sure that you give yourself enough time so that you can decide if it's working or not. And then you can make changes from there. So it's always fun to do this, and it's always fun to challenge yourself and to give yourself a goal to go for, to really see what you can do. So always live up to your potential because it's always there. And remember how you want to feel so that you can do things to get to how you want to feel. If you want more help with this, if you want to go deeper, you can get into Vegan Goddess Power. That's one-on-one through a 3-month experience. If you need help with your vegan eating, if you need help with your vegan lifestyle and your mindset and your self-care as a woman, this is what this is for. I have been vegan for 15 years, so I know that I can help you with any struggles or frustrations you have in your vegan eating, your vegan lifestyle, your mindset, or self-care, because mindset and self-care are something we talk about here just as much because they're just as important. Everything comes back to lifestyle. So that's what we focus on the most here. If you want to grab your space in Vegan Goddess Power, you can find the link in the description and in the comments, and you can find out more details there and get in there if you want to go deeper with your vegan lifestyle and your vegan eating, self-care, and mindset. Thanks for watching.